All right. Bronny James opens up about controversial first season in NBA. People think I'm a fucking robot. We'll get into the article. I haven't read it quite yet, so let's get into it and see exactly what we're talking about here. It just came out today on March 20th, earlier this afternoon. My first thought about everything is I always try to just let it go through one ear and out the other, the basketball player and son of LeBron James said. I mean, from Bronny James' point of view, before we even get into it, it's not going to be a Bronny James hating video. We're just going to read the article and just comment on it from an unbiased viewpoint as much as we can. But yeah, I mean, like Bronny James said, just try to let it go in one ear and out the other. There's a lot of noise around him from the media, a lot of negative talk about him from some people in the media, and then the majority of people online are talking negatively about him for sure. We'll get into the article and see what it says. But yeah, I mean, as Bronny James, that's all you can do. As far as the noise goes, though, I'm sure LeBron James had more noise coming in. He did have a lot of positive praise about him, where Bronny James doesn't have a lot of positive praise about what he's doing on the court, to be honest. But he does have a lot of defenders in ESPN that really have his back and try to say, nothing but positive things about him, to be fair on that end. But right here, Bronny James is getting candid about critics. The basketball player and son of LeBron James, 20 years old, spoke to The Athletic about how he deals with what people have said about his first season in the NBA. As critics argue, he's only in the league due to nepotism. First paragraph, it already comes up. That's the main thing people are mad at Bronny James about. They're not even really mad at Bronny James about it. It's more being upset at LeBron James for this because at any other job, if it was some corporate job or office job, whatever it is, if the guy in the number one position at that corporation, LeBron James is the guy in the number one position in the NBA corporation. So, if that happened, in an office job, corporate job, and then that guy's son all of a sudden got a very high position, people would call it nepotism, and it kind of is what it is. You can argue LeBron James Jr., Bronny James, he didn't get a super high position. He was drafted 55 in the second round, but comment below what you think. In my opinion, I'd say it is. It is definitely due to nepotism. Just call a spade and call it what it is. And because if it was just based on skills, someone got their spot taken. To be honest, someone else should have been drafted number 55 in the second round of the draft, and it probably could have changed them and their whole family's life. And I think that's what people kind of get upset about. Where again, it's not Bronny James' fault, but he's born into money. His father's basically a billionaire, and in my opinion, he's just not in the NBA 100% because of his skill. That's not to say that he could never turn into an NBA player or develop into a solid NBA player, but he should have spent the full 4 years at USC, to be honest, and let himself develop. But, you know, whether it was LeBron's idea, his idea, we don't have like facts to confirm what it was, but, they wanted to play together, so he left after 1 year to play with his father. My first thought about everything is I always just try to let it go through one ear and out the other. Put my head down and come to work and be positive every day. Bronny told the outlet. Again, from Bronny's view, that's all you can really do. Again, it's not his fault. If I was Bronny James, I'd get to the NBA and play with my dad. It's an awesome moment. It's an awesome accomplishment, you could say. Even though it was, again, it was due to nepotism, him getting in the NBA, but it's still cool to see them play together, father and son. Even though Bronny James' skill level isn't quite up to par to be an NBA player in a lot of people's opinion. The young star doesn't always ignore the comments, he says, and occasionally uses it for motivation, but sometimes it fuels me a little bit. I see everything that people are saying, and people think like I'm a robot, like I don't have any feelings or emotions, he continued. I get what he's saying right there. I mean, like I said, there's a whole media whirlwind around him. They're talking about every shot he takes. The other game, I forgot who the Lakers played against, but Bronny James got in the game. He shot 1 for 5 from three The first three he makes though, they put on NBA Twitter. Bronny James is locked in with like the on fire symbols, and that's the thing. Every single shot he takes, just a microscope on everything he does. And again, to be fair to Bronny James, it's not his fault. It's more LeBron's fault that all this attention and pressure is on him, and just going to come with being LeBron James' son. But I get him with everyone talking, people talking bad about him. But again, you're in the NBA, you're an NBA professional, and people talk bad about a lot of rookies and criticize their game. I think it's more the nepotism talk that bothers him and his father, LeBron James. But if you don't think he's in the league due to nepotism, please comment below. What you think his basketball skills are and what you think he does. Really well to have earned being drafted that soon. Because myself and a lot of people don't really think he would have been drafted like that without the nepotism factor. But moving on, as for how Bronny uses the harsh words to improve his game, he said they encourage him to go out, wake up every day, and get to the gym early, get my extra work in, watch my extra film every day, and get better every day. Again, that's all you can do. Get down there, get in work. People are going to say stuff about you. All NBA players are going to get negative things said about them. He has the right mindset. That's all you can do is put your head down and keep working. Bronny's playing time is currently divided between the Lakers and their G League team. Told The Athletic his day often starts at 9 a.m. when he hits the practice facility. I'm sure like most NBA players, I'm sure Kobe was up at freaking 4 a.m., but that's just a whole different thing. Due to his split duties, he's shared that he rarely gets to work out with his father, who has played with the Lakers since 2018. Yeah, I'm hopping from team to team. I'm not always with him on the Lakers because he's going back and forth from the G League to the Lakers roster. The younger James explained. So not as much right now, but for sure when summer comes and when the off season comes around, we'll definitely be in the gym a lot together and working out and stuff like that. Earlier this month, Stephen A. Smith had a heated courtside discussion with LeBron that was caught on camera. Smith later confirmed on First Take LeBron was yelling at him over his criticism of his son throughout the season. I think I mentioned earlier, I'm honestly not sure exactly what the comments were that Stephen A. Smith said that made LeBron James upset. I think it was probably some kind of mention about nepotism. I think in the discussion LeBron was saying that Stephen A. said something about him as a father, I suppose, or something like that. But again, I couldn't find the clip or any exact line. Please comment below if you heard, if you can recall exactly what Stephen A. Smith said. But he never really questioned him as a father. I mean, I feel like he always kept it basketball. He doesn't always do that, but in this instance, I feel like he did. He was just making the point that Bronny James, he'll critique his game. If he has a bad game, he'll let it be known he had a bad game. Shooting wise, once you're an NBA player, people can critique you. You're not immune to being criticized, and LeBron James just wants nothing but, positive things to be said about his son, but that's not really how it works. And then, I think LeBron was honestly probably mad about the nepotism comments, but, if you are LeBron James and Bronny James, I'm sure it's hard to kind of step back and take a look at the situation from other people's point of view. But again, comment below what you think. But nepotism is a giant factor here, and I can understand them getting mad at people calling that out. But I don't see how you can't acknowledge it. It's just so obvious. I really understood where he was coming from. The sports journalist said, whoever the sports journalist is, he was very, very upset. I could tell. He could have called me. I don't even know what this is talking about. Continuing though, right here, Bronny James. Like I said, as a father, I guess it's LeBron James. This is the sports journalist. Okay, they're talking about Stephen A. Smith. That's who they're talking about. So yeah, Stephen A. Smith made some big apology. If you didn't see it, he's saying, "Oh, that wasn't LeBron James, the basketball player, talking to me. That was LeBron James, the father." Like Stephen A. Smith said, as a father, I get it. I'm not offended. I'm not insulted. Don't have animosity or animus towards LeBron James for this. So Stephen A. Smith said, it's cool, whatever. Okay, down here, I think this is it right here. Smith previously had said that he believes Bronny who has averaged 1.4 points per game this season after averaging just 4 points per game during his college career, is only in the NBA because of his dad. So there's the quote. Stephen A. Smith said Bronny James is only in the NBA because of his dad, and he is. I mean, to be honest, he is. That just is what it is. Again, I'm not saying Bronny James can never develop. He can never become an NBA player, but I think he's 6'2". Doesn't have a great handle or great speed or anything like that. To be honest, he's not a great outside shooter. And even being 6'2", you can't really be a 6'2" spot up shooter. If you're gonna be an effective 6'2" player in the NBA, you have to have a really deep bag. You have to be a good playmaker and be able to get off the dribble, create space, and create your own shot off the dribble. But with that being said, I'm not saying Bronny can never develop those skills. Get better off the dribble, be able to create room, be able to become a playmaker. I'm not saying Bronny James can never be a solid NBA player, but he should have spent the full 4 years at USC, developed even more, and then after those 4 years, maybe he's ready to come out and play some NBA minutes and actually get into the NBA because of his skills and merits. But like it says here, he came out after 1 year at USC, um, only averaging 4 points per game in that year at USC. So everyone sees it. It is a nepotism thing. Why he got drafted. It wasn't because of just basketball skills. Yeah, right here, drafted 55th overall in the second round. Again, what frustrates people? People always talk about Bronny. Again, I'm not mad at Bronny. It's not really Bronny's fault. If I was him, I got the opportunity. Yeah, I'm gonna go in the NBA and play with my dad. Of course I am. But you know that's what people are saying from the outside, like what Stephen A. Smith is saying. LeBron kind of put that pressure on him in a way, to come out a year early so they can play together in the NBA because if he stays in college the full 4 years, who knows if LeBron's even in the NBA anymore after that. He would be what 43 years old after that. So I get it. I get it from that point. They wanted to play together and they have played together, but from the other side of things, somebody got robbed. There was a guy that probably didn't grow up with the kind of money Bronny James grew up with. Not to be like pocket watching people, but there's probably someone that came from a lower income family or a middle class family that really could have changed their entire family's lives with that opportunity in the NBA. And so that's why people are kind of frustrated, about Bronny James getting in due to the nepotism factor. But again, I wish Bronny James well. Hopefully develops his skills and he becomes, a solid, serviceable NBA player. But we'll just have to see what happens, as time goes on here. But please comment below what you think about the article and, the whole nepotism factor with Bronny James. I just gone through it for the first time right now, but, of course the nepotism factor always comes up, when they're talking about him being in the league, and there's a reason why. It's because it is a huge reason that he is in the NBA. But I'm at a big 33 subscribers as well. Please like and subscribe if you finished the video. I'm trying to get to 50 subscribers by the end of the day, and YouTube said they're gonna send me a new car.